The JFK assassination remains commonly discussed, mainly for the numerous conspiracy theories associated with it. There is one group of individuals that aren't often spoken about, the other people who were injured on November 22, 1963. Kennedy's trip to Texas was part of his build-up for the 1964 election season. He started off in San Antonio, then moved to Houston and Fort Worth, and then the following day, on the 22nd, took the 13-minute flight to Dallas. You know what happened from there. Kennedy wasn't the only person shot that day. 3 total were also struck. Riding in the car with the president and the first lady were John Connally, the governor of Texas, and his wife. Connally was hit by at least 1 bullet and sustained injuries in the back, wrist, chest, and leg, but he went on to survive the shooting. Connally finished his term and went on to win 2 more re-elections. He also served as Nixon's Secretary of the Treasury, flipped parties to Republican, and ran for the 1980 presidential nomination. He dropped out after 2 primaries and died in 1993. There was some effort by assassination enthusiasts to retrieve bullet fragments from his body, but the Connally family refused such requests. Other victims include a policeman named J.D. Tippit, who was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald shortly after the assassination. Tippit, who realized Oswald matched the description of a potential suspect, confronted him and was killed. Tippit's murder directly led to Oswald's capture and remains a focal point to conspiracy theorists as to how and why Oswald took the actions he did. There is one other person who is much less remembered from that fateful day. James Tague, a car salesman, didn't know much about Kennedy's visit when he ran into a major traffic jam around midday near downtown Dallas. When he got out of his car to investigate the cause of the delay, he was struck in the face by something.
Deputy Sheriff Buddy Walters said, "You have blood on your cheek." I reached up, and there was a couple drops of blood.
That something turned out to be a piece of sidewalk that had splintered off the curb and had been launched into the air by a misdirected bullet. Tague later shared his story in front of the Warren Commission, who were officially charged with investigating the assassination. His testimony cast doubt over their initial theory that only 3 shots were fired, all of which hit individuals in the presidential limousine. Tague said he believed it was his testimony that inspired investigators to formulate their magic bullet theory.
I didn't know I was changing history. I just knew it's probably important that there was a missed shot.
Initially, Tague was willing to believe the commission's story, but over time he became more skeptical.
So what really happened that day? Let's just for a moment speculate, shall we?
Before his death in 2014, Tague became a JFK researcher who believed that Kennedy was killed by a hired assassin as part of a governmental conspiracy. He wrote multiple books about his theories, including the 2003 Truth Withheld: A Survivor's Story and 2013's LBJ and the Kennedy Killing.